And welcome viewers to the Daily Space Weather video. We'll be putting out 3 videos today total. A meteorology segment will have aired before this one. Also, a cosmology segment will air after this video, so make sure you check that out. You can find it on our playlists, youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. Here's the last 24 hours of the closest star. 171 angstroms is the wavelength. SDO is the satellite. We've got a new significantly active region rising in the northeast. This sunspot down here is still beta class. This one's alpha class. And this one has the kind of fields that produce major flares. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. And when I say ion, well, pardon the pun. Here's ionized helium. We do continue our coronal mass ejection warning. Why? Because one's going to happen. We just can't tell you exactly when. If I had to guess, I would say in the next 18 hours. And we'll be talking about Lagrange points in our cosmology segment today. Again, make sure you check out our playlists at youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. Let's look a little closer here at this Sunspot 2894, I believe this one's called. This has gained a little bit of complexity here over the past 24 hours. It's a little more likely to produce flares. We did see some C-class intensifications over the past 24. Now you'll see the formation of Sunspot 2895. It's got 2 opposing opposite polarity umbrae. You'll see them form here at the end of this video. They're both shaped like crescents. And quite close to each other, so we'll be watching those. Possibly producing some radial blackouts and so on if they produce some significant flares. And those are some decent-sized umbrae, folks. They've suddenly formed within that plage. Certainly the most likely spot to see major activity. Again, coronal mass ejection warning also in place. The radial flux has come up to 88, and we're forecasting a major coronal hole wind stream strike in the next about 24 to 36 hours also. It's from a North Pole-oriented coronal hole. We'll get to that momentarily. Here's the 1-year chart of the radial flux, the most proportional data set we have to sunspot number. Going all the way back to 1947, we've been measuring the radial flux. Canadian radio operators discovered it. It's been measured ever since. It's proportional to the sunspot number. And here's the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard, which does not agree with us. Expecting very low levels of activity here over the next couple of days. Again, there is a coronal hole wind stream likely on the way, not showing up in the NOAA models. That's okay. We take it all with a truckload of salt. Several grains of salt. Here's the seismicity over the past 90 days, and you can see there's a 7 magnitude earthquake drought continuing here. If you're in an earthquake-prone zone, please have a plan. Earthquake droughts end in large earthquakes. And we're just going to scroll up the list here. No 6+ magnitude quakes over the past 24 hours, it looks like. There was a shallow one at Pahala, Hawaii there, a 2.5 magnitude at 1,200 meters above sea level. South Sandwich Islands continue to shake with another 5.1 there. Japan saw a mid-level 4.5 magnitude quake, a mid-4 magnitude range quake there. Indonesia saw a 4.5. India saw a deep quake. Looks like it's in the northeastern portion of that nation. Also some New Madrid minor quakes happening there, and one near Yellowstone. Again, no major quakes over the past 24 hours. Let's check volcanoes. It sounds like La Palma may be calming down here. Is it getting calmer at La Palma? Let us know in the comments what you think. Anyway, activity appearing to be a little bit less vigorous there at La Palma over the past 24 hours. Although some significant quakes did occur as well. Explosive activity continues at Karimsky on the Kamchatka Peninsula as a 10,000-foot plume of volcanic ash is produced from the Karimsky volcano. Subanose Jima, flight level 060. Manam, flight level 060 there. As Manam explodes, that's located on Papua New Guinea. Mount Ibu on Halmahera, Indonesia. Flight level 080 there. 8,000-foot ash plume from Ibu. Fuego. 15,000-foot ash plume over Guatemala as Fuego explodes. Nevado del Ruiz. Continuous ash emissions over the past few days. Alert level remains yellow, about a 2,000-foot plume of ash from Nevado del Ruiz. Sangay exploding. 20,000-foot ash plume from Sangay. That's an uptick at Sangay there. That located in Ecuador. Revenador, sporadic emissions from Ecuador. No indication of the altitude of the ash plume from Revenador. And Sabancaya is exploding in Peru, producing a 24,000-foot plume of volcanic ash. Please don't pole vault the caldera. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. Please do visit our links at smAshomash.com. You can find all kinds of links there, such as the one to our smAsho merch. By the way, why wait to visit the homepage? Again, if you click smAsho merch, why wait? Is the new promo code here at Redbubble. Enter the promo code why wait store-wide to save 20 to 60% for your holiday shopping. These make great gifts, folks. We've sorted them in order of best selling. Mensa, Make Earth Not Suck Again, just recently upended Do Not Pole Vault the Caldera. Moving up to number 2 in our top sellers. And I would remind all of our viewers to Mansa, Make Earth Not Suck Again, especially for our American viewers, and to everybody out there, whether you're viewing from a different dimension, space-time, spacecraft, galaxy, a different plane of existence, I would say Universum Liberate. Universum Liberate to each of you hearing my voice. Next, some magnetic data. One could say that a star is its magnetic fields, and they're kind of important. So we cover it daily on the Daily Space Weather. By the way, congratulations on realizing that the channel exists. Anyway, there's the GOES magnetometer over the past 3 days. We're seeing fairly low highs and high lows here at the moment. Earth is in a South Pole current sheet, and we expect to remain there, especially with the formation of this major sunspot 2895 in the northeast. There's the latest image. You can see Earth is in a South Pole current sheet shown there in red. Here's the line of sight view of the same data essentially, but this also shows you the solar magnetogram since we're viewing from the line of sight perspective instead of the top view. Here's the line of sight coronal hole plot, and we are expecting a coronal hole wind stream from this North Pole oriented coronal hole system coming soon. We can expect a pretty significant intensification there. That is a major coronal hole system. Another one rotating in here with a South Pole orientation. You can see that there in red. And here's a better visual of it in 193 angstroms from the SDO imagery. Coronal holes are constantly emitting a high-speed wind stream, folks. Yeah, there are a bunch of hydrogen nuclei coming out of that. And what causes that to happen, folks? Those are low-pressure zones on the sun, by the way. Is it caused by intercalate regions and their pressure reaching critical mass and blowing material out of the sun that way? Let us know if you have a theory as to how the sun works. Next, flare probability here and detected sunspot groups. Again, likelihood of major flares has gone way up as a result of this new group. It'll be called 2895 today, most certainly. It's certainly noteworthy. Next, looking at solar flaring here. Again, a couple of C-class flares just occurred earlier this morning. Besides that, no major flaring over the past 3 days. I consider a major flare anything M or higher in magnitude. No spikes in the proton flux. No relativistic particles headed our way at the moment. We might get some if we see a major flare out of 2895. So it looks like a minor intensification here, a little bit of a solar wind coronal hole stream coming through here. Pretty minor so far. Don't be surprised to see this density bump up a little bit higher than 7 protons per cubic centimeter, which is around where the current conditions are. Current conditions around actually only about 5.5 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed, 407 kilometers per second. I would expect a higher density spike from that North Pole-oriented coronal hole system, and we may see an intensified solar wind speed for days as a result of that because it's so huge. KP index pegged at 0 here over the past 12 hours. And for you new viewers out there, the KP index is a measurement of global geomagnetism. Next, the space weather modeling framework. Geospace magnetosphere movie here showing magnetohydrodynamic pressure over the past 4 hours. We can expect to see a little bit of an uptick here as we saw an increase in the solar wind density in just the past couple hours. Probably a minor intensification here on the left side of your screen there. You can see a slight uptick there in the density, causing a little pressure increase on both the bow shock and magnetotail sides of the planet. Ground magnetic perturbations are next, since there's a polar excursion occurring, since Earth's magnetic pole of the south variety is down here in the Southern Ocean, someplace south of Australia. We show the data daily. Geospace delta B changes to Earth's B field. This is modeled in nanotesla. The last one was nanopascals. Nanotesla is magnetic flux density. And like the last frame, that's 4 hours of data. And again, don't forget to watch today's cosmology segment. Many are integrated into the daily space weather videos, and over 200 aren't integrated into the daily space weather videos. They're separate videos at youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. Cosmology segments, they are sweet. No charging hazards at the moment. And we are expecting a little bit high levels of electron flux once again. Here's the 1-year chart of the electron flux, and you can see how high the levels are. Not as high as they get, but pretty high. And here's the 3-day chart of the electron flux. smashamash.com/smash team members would already know about this, as we posted a warning just this morning about the electron flux levels, which are now in warning levels, by the way. That coincides with 1,000 pulse flux units. This is actually density, which is a different measurement. We won't get into the physics of that in this video. Here's the forecast model, and we're expecting a subsiding. I would tend to agree with this. I would say even lower levels are going to show up here when the coronal hole wind stream arrives, which we can expect in a day or two. Here's a diagram of the Van Allen belts. Feel free to pause the video. Distances are shown in miles because we're showing the electron forecast, the total electron content forecast. And we're still seeing some chaos here over the North American continent. Some GPS errors there. When we see most GPS errors occurring around the equator at noontime, we'll let this play through one more time here. Also some Antarctican GPS errors likely to be happening there as a result of these high-density electron regions. It's a little bit of chaos in Earth's inner Van Allen belt, which we typically do see associated with coronal hole wind streams, coronal mass ejection strikes, etc. Here's another diagram of the atmosphere to show you where the F ionosphere layer is located. It's at about 300 kilometers of altitude, about 100 kilometers lower than the International Space Station. And here's the ionogram for the previous day. It's showing you vibrational frequency. Each color blob represents 1 million vibrations per second difference, showing 1 through 14 megahertz. We see continued anomalies around the South Atlantic anomaly. No real surprise there, as it's Earth's weakest point in the magnetosphere. There's the latest image, 11:30 Universal Time. Here's the anomalygram. We're seeing lots of low-frequency anomalies here north of the equator. It's autumn up here in the Northern Hemisphere. Shout out to our viewers from both sides of the planet, and for all of you who are viewing from a different plane of existence. Congratulations to you on realizing the channel exists. And here's the latest image. Also some low-frequency anomalies over the Central Pacific Ocean and Southeast Asia. There's the ionogram, there's the anomalygram. Hey there, folks. Here come bonus features. Again, coronal mass ejection and solar flare warning back in place, folks. Especially because of Sunspot 2895. Let's take a look at it close up. There's the latest intensity gram, and you can see those two large umbrae. Check it out. Also, 2894 is a beta class sunspot, although the trailing umbrae are not so large. Again, there's the latest refresh of the colorized magnetogram, and you can see how complex. Two equally sized umbrae there, significantly raising the likelihood of solar flares, large ones. And here it is in some additional wavelengths. This is 335 angstroms, one of the many iron ions that are archived by the Solar Dynamics Observatory. Here's another iron spectra. This is 94 angstroms. Some C-class flares coming out of that new sunspot. And we'll close out the video with 171 angstroms. My personal favorite wavelength, the lower corona. Ionized iron. It's iron 9, I believe is what it is. In any case, thanks for tuning in. Congratulations on realizing we exist. And may that solar wind be at your back.